Let's take this time and celebrate, at least a little bit, a tiny bit, almost 100K. And Ethereum also showed a little bit of, well, the volume isn't very good. So in this video, I want to show you exactly the reasons what happened and why we pumped. Even though, I would love to say, oh yeah, I was the one saying this. The reason why it pumped is actually the third reason. So it's not the first reason or the second reason, what we discussed in previous videos. I'm going to actually go through this. It came from somewhere else. And this kind of dictates as to what we can expect going forward. And I'm afraid that a lot of people are going to make a shit ton of mistakes here. So let's get to it. Let me explain exactly the logic of what just transpired in the last 24 hours and what didn't transpire, even though it was supposed to. And then I'm going to come back to the chart. We'll discuss exactly what we can expect going forward. And it might not be as beautiful as it might seem, and even though we're kind of celebrating, because even though even with Ethereum, honestly, I really wanted to see some grab of liquidity, at least 1500 this area. But that's why I always told you guys before that you need to use a combination of tools. Here, this would have been for active trades. So if it goes there, okay, great. Maybe add to the swing trades, maybe add to build up your smaller trades, whatever. But if it doesn't play out, we hold a lot of spot Ethereum, Bitcoin, the rest of the coins. So whenever something pumps, it still is freaking fantastic, even if you don't get the entry price for your small active trades. So that's why it's always a balance of different tools. This is what I was discussing in my yesterday's live stream. If you didn't join the first day, you can join the second day today. Link to it down in the description of this video. Really a lot of useful stuff and understanding of how the market really works, because it's not as simple as many think, because you cannot always predict everything perfectly. Anyway, getting to the point, and then I'll show you my orders as always. And there is two pieces of the news which are absolutely freaking insane and kind of really paint a very good picture. First of all, wanted to address this. Trump's 60-day executive order on Bitcoin strategic reserve, it expired on the 5th of May. And they still said nothing. So theoretically, the only reason why they could be delaying this is because of some bureaucratic bullshit. Even though they're not supposed to do this, but they kind of can. So this can come out any day, and this can be either bullish or bearish really any day now. So we need to wait for this to come out for their decision on what they're going to do on a federal level when it comes to Bitcoin strategic reserve. Unfortunately, it did not come out timely. Now, the next thing, which is FOMC. And we had the press conference yesterday. Fed held their interest rates at the same level. So they didn't reduce the interest rates, which was in line with expectations. But during the press conference, Jerome Powell wasn't very nice. Jerome Powell actually came out and said, oh, it's uncertain. We don't want to reduce interest rates. And most importantly, he said that he's ready to wait until 2026. 2026. This is for quantitative easing, which is insane. So this is not good. But the market's still pumped. So it is kind of inverse logic, but not really. There is a reason why this happened. And that reason, well, I'll tell you. So all the bits and pieces by the level of importance. The further we go, the more important stuff is. So this is number one, but it will all culminate at the end of the video. So always watch till the end. First of all, certainly Jerome Powell came out and said that because of the tariffs of Trump and what he's doing, etc., it's very uncertain. The tariffs can have a long-term impact on the economy and the inflation, so they were not going to be in a rush to reduce rates and, start the money printer. Trump came out and said that there's going to be a big conference, actually today, because he posted it yesterday by the American time. So there's going to be a major trade deal with the representatives of a big, highly respected country, and there are rumors that it's UK. So it's not China, but it's UK. So this is very good news, and this is what Powell was talking about. I'm pretty sure that a lot of deals will be struck. And also China confirmed plans to begin trade negotiations with the United States as well. So this is also pretty big news. So I'm pretty sure that this had some kind of an effect on crypto, and the reason why we kind of pumped a little bit. However, before we come back to the chart and discuss all the trade setups and stuff, I think it's not really the main thing. The main thing is something different, and we'll get to it in just a second. And before we get to it, very important update also on Bitcoin strategic reserve on a state level. New Hampshire has approved, that became the first state, and actually permitted and allowed the state to invest up to 5% of total funds. New Hampshire. welcome to Bitcoin. And this is only the beginning. Currently, we also have another state that is in the process. I believe it is state of Arizona, crypto legal tender bill. It doesn't permit them to buy Bitcoin yet, but it still is huge, and it just passed the House Commerce Committee. And this bill proposes recognizing Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as legal tender for public charges in the state. So this is insane, absolutely insane. But this is not the biggest news. The biggest news, one of the biggest news, is this right here. And I think that this is one of the main reasons why the market actually has pumped, especially crypto. I think that China has pumped it because China announced a massive rate cuts and a $140 billion liquidity injection to support its economy. So, and probably the tariffs are also hitting China hard, so they will make a deal. They're stimulating the economy. European Union is cutting rates, etc. The only thing left for us, really, degens, to see crazy returns on our altcoins and stuff, that is money printing in the United States. Because if you actually currently look at Bitcoin dominance right now and you actually zoom out, it's insane. Bitcoin dominance is at almost record levels, 65%. During this kind of huge Bitcoin dominance, there is no liquidity in altcoins. So therefore, Bitcoin is just sucking up the entire market. And the only time when this is going to change in reality is when United States is going to start printing money or do cuts for the taxes of people in general. So up to $150,000 income a year is what they want to do. So that's going to be also some kind of stimulus. But most importantly is money printing in the US because China is printing. Look, everything just flipped. We have one last piece of the puzzle. So everything when it comes to money printing is coming together. And if you pay attention, like in my opinion, the biggest news, and that's why I'm always telling you to watch the videos fully, the biggest news is that Fed, actually, even though Jerome Powell came out and he was quite hawkish and he said, yeah, we can wait until 2026, but at the same time, Fed spent $20 billion on 3-year bonds, which was their largest single-day purchase since 2021. Rings a bell. Interesting. So they're injecting liquidity instead of cutting rates to avoid panic. So certainly, them buying, Fed just, buying $20 billion worth of these bonds, and they might keep doing so. It's not direct stimulus. It's kind of is stimulus, but it's not quantitative easing. It's not new money. It's a part of their traditional protocol, but this is still good. This is like, as some call it, like quiet and shadow type of quantitative easing and stimulus. So we really want to see a pivot, but this is a sign. This is a bell. They're ringing a bell that something is changing, that they're actually flipping until possibly in June, the next FOMC meeting, when there is still a huge chance of a rate cut. That's when they're going to finally announce something a bit better, which maybe they won't. But the longer they actually hold it in this way, the more there is going to be a chance of recession. So they have to do something. And them actually signaling some kind of stimulus, even though very tiny, but in comparison, again, the biggest single day purchase since 2021. So I don't know, you go figure. And now that's also not all. We'll get to the price chart in just a second, but M2 money supply, and this is what I was telling you about for quite some time, that here we had this one last dip. This is becoming one of the best ways to predict Bitcoin at this point. It's insane how I told you that one last dip, and it actually happened, and then possibility of a very positive price action. Even though I kind of expected a correction, for my degen type of long trades on Bybit, but overall, this is following up pretty greatly. I mean, the target with this M2 money supply currently for Bitcoin is like 150,000-ish. So not a huge deal, but I'm pretty sure everybody would be very fucking happy to see Bitcoin at $150,000. So considering all the things that I've just mentioned, the only problem really that is left right now, the only problem is this guy. That's it. There's nothing else. Tariffs, all this bullshit, trade deals are happening, China is stimulating, printing money, buying their own stocks. The only thing is left, this guy. That's it. Nothing else. And this is when Bitcoin dominance really will drop. And that's where old season will happen. Because unless he pivots, I don't think that we're going to have any kind of big, monumental, cyclical old seasons. I'm sorry, I just don't think we're going to have it. So that's why you have to be very careful. But overall, when it comes to Bitcoin, quite honestly, I think that this is, especially China's stimulus and United States possibly making a deal with China, this is what has really pushed the price higher. But degening into it here again, the same thing. When we had this explosion, kind of getting into it at this local high, yeah, I mean, theoretically could have been an okay trade, but I don't really like this kind of risk to reward. So I still want to see in this instance, maybe this 86K after all might not happen. Okay, I was wrong and I can admit that you cannot always predict everything. So for this reason, 95% of my money is not in futures trading, it's in spot. I hold a shit ton of Bitcoin, other coins, etc. So when Bitcoin goes up by 5K, I feel it. So, and I'm happy about it. I don't need my small futures trades and trying to predict all the smallest market frequencies. When it's possible, great. When the market doesn't give you an entry, fuck it. That's why you have so many tools and you're utilizing different tools, including passive income tools and funding grade arbitrage and liquidity pools and staking. And overall, you make good money. So you cannot be perfect in all. But overall, I'm not sure if we're going to see this level anymore, but if we actually come and retest for whatever reason to cool down the market, the area of 91K, this could possibly become a quite interesting level for you to entertain a possibility of some kind of long trades. Same thing, if you look at Ethereum, yeah, we are kind of breaking out of this resistance, this channel, but look at the volume. Volume is shit. And I really don't like this, quite frankly. And I mean, there is a reason because of Bitcoin dominance. Everything is being sucked up by Bitcoin at this point. So here, am I going to be degening into this breakout with a target of 2100, a major, huge resistance on our way right here? Not really. I'm not buying this just yet. Once Fed pivots and starts printing money, okay, yeah, I can switch some of my capital into more active degen type of trading with bigger volume. For now, I'm still being cautious. But overall, the point of the video is to show you guys that everything is slowly coming together, just not as fast as we wanted, but it's coming together. The only thing left, this guy. Anybody knows him? Please give him a call. And when it comes to my trades over on Bybit, still nothing new. I really didn't take any trades. The P&L basically is the same thing, so nothing has changed. I didn't really take any other trades. My orders over on Ethereum and Bitcoin are still the same. I'm thinking to kind of recalibrate it, as I told you, 83.5. Probably, maybe will not happen. So if it doesn't, so who cares anyway. But I'll keep you guys posted, so subscribe and hit that notification bell. And remember about, if you want to be trading over on Bybit for our community exclusively, up to $30,000 in initial deposit bonuses, with an exclusive link down in the description of this video, as well as up to 42% discount on trading fees. And I'll see you in the next video.